What's up, everyone? This is your boy James, and I am back with another video for you guys today. And with this video today too, it's been a while since I did this kind of I should say video too, like a reaction or a response, however you want to call it. But I recently just been seeing this post on social media, especially like on Instagram and on TikTok, about the group of ladies who made this list of places men shouldn't take them on the first date. And I saw this list, right? And when it comes to seeing this like on Instagram and TikTok, and especially like on YouTube too, a lot of content creators and even artists too, or I should say content creators, really made a lot of videos about this. And I read this list, and I was just really baffled by it, and not in a negative way. I was just really surprised by it because I'm in my age, I'm just gonna show you what I look like, just like when it comes to what I look like too. I'm 35, and I'm kind of like a millennial too. So when it comes to just like going to these places, places that that you could potentially take to the first date, or just like another date too. It could be like a second or third, like certain restaurants or places that people like to go to have a good time, to get to know someone too, whether it's a man or a woman per se too. This could probably go either way, depending on who the person is, because nowadays people have different tastes, and probably in general too, people have different tastes, and that's okay. But with this list that that you guys can see on the screen too, and shout out to Duval Promo for sharing this post too. I'll make sure to link the post if you guys ever want to check it out on Instagram. At the same time, if you have an Instagram account and you want to check it out for yourself, feel free to do so. But if you guys like to watch my reaction to it too, or this is like the first time that you guys are on my channel too, much love. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, share with your friends, all that good stuff. So today, in this video, we're going to really dive into, with this list too, that places men shouldn't take women on the first date. And, just in my first impression of it, I just find it wild, because it's like, whoa. I mean, half the list that I see I've been to. I think I've probably been to most of around 20, all these places, with someone. It can not even just be like a date, it's just like hanging out with someone. It could be of the opposite sex, or group of friends, or anything like that. But on the first date too, it's like, I never knew with the opposite sex, because I love women. It's like women don't like going to certain restaurants and activities nowadays. I don't know. It could be just like a generational thing, but we're gonna be really diving deep into this too, just really quickly when it comes to with this video. And if you guys hear background noise, barking, and people doing some work out there, that's just my everyday neighborhood too. So I apologize if you guys can hear that. If not, that's totally cool. So without further ado, we're going to really dive into this list also. So we're just going to go to the first of them too. And this is, again too, this is no shade against anyone who's made this list. I just really want to bring it down to you from a very mindful and spiritual way too, because with this channel, it's all about self-care and wellness. And just like when it comes to self-care and wellness, it really can be beneficial in our relationships too, especially too when it comes to personal growth, what we will allow, what we won't allow in our relationships, especially with relationships and with our environment, with other people, especially with ourselves. So we're going to really dive in deep into with the first list too. So with the first list that it says, here's a list of places women absolutely refuse to go on a first date. And thank you for the ladies who reached out to me, help me on the list. Oh, okay. So the first list, and most of these from 1 to at least to 5, Cheesecake Factory is a cool place. People like to like Cheesecake Factory. I mean, from what I've known so far, it's Cheesecake Factory is a cool place. If someone loves to has a sweet tooth, and they love cheesecake, and that's cool. They got some good food there. Same goes to Applebee's. I know some people are kind of iffy about Applebee's, and same goes to Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden. And with these 5 also, this counts as restaurants too. So it's kind of if someone loves food, and especially if they love to cook food too, and they just like to, get to know someone and want to go to like a restaurant, it could be like with Olive Garden, Chipotle, Chili's, Applebee's, Cheesecake Factory. I mean, that's their choice. I can't knock your hustle on that. So, oh, hold on. So sorry about that. I thought someone knocked on my door. But anyways, forgive me on that. But getting back to what I was talking about when it comes to the first 5 year too. And it's just like, like it really depends on who the person is. It's like, people like to eat, they like restaurants, or even if they like to cook too, that's totally cool. That's their choice. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with the first 5 year too. These restaurants from Cheesecake Factory to Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden, that's totally, people's preference. If they want to go on the first date to like an Olive Garden, Chipotle, Chili's, Applebee's, or Cheesecake Factory, that's totally cool. And the movies too, with number 6, I mean, who doesn't love the movies? I mean, it's kind of like where the movies where you can just, go with someone that you can really just get to know, but also have like a conversation about, with the movies too, and just really enjoy each other's company. Not just having a conversation about like during the movie that's playing, if someone's into like comic book movies or romances or even if they're in the film industry too, it could be kind of like, movies could be like the first date, just to really get to know someone who really is passionate about that too with movies. They love to watch old school movies, watch the recent movies too that's out nowadays also in theaters. So when it comes to that, movies aren't, I don't think, to me, this is just my opinion, you guys could disagree. It's not like a bad place to go on a first date. You just really get to know someone, or even just like just hanging out as in general too. Especially if people love to watch movies too, if they love to watch like comic book movies or, romance. It could be like action, it could be based on true stories, also, or documentaries. I mean, wherever that floats their boat when it comes to movie buffs out there. And I know a lot of women who are movie buffs, and they're awesome. So that's just me saying that. So number 7, this is really understandable because like going to someone's house, on the first day, it's kind of like going too soon. I mean, it's kind of like, there's like I know there's heard a lot of horror stories when it comes to going to someone's house on the first day, and there's some like crazy stories out there about that. But like after, like if say if you're in a serious relationship with someone and you just really, and you just want to you guys know each other for quite some time, for a couple of years, and then it's kind of like, okay, I mean, going to their house, it's cool, but on the first date, that's kind of pushing it too much. So, but number 8, kind of like any fast food chain. I mean, I kind of get it. If it's like McDonald's, I mean, that could be kind of like iffy. But if it's kind of like, like fast food, like Buffalo Wings, Wingstop, Rib Lobster, see if the list goes on. A Buffet, IHOP, Denny's, and same goes with the first 5 here too. I mean, that could be count as restaurants just because, I say fast food, but just because you can really take it to go and can really order it on apps nowadays. Just like with technology and the food industry, it's kind of like you can get your food on the go, even from restaurants. So I mean, it really depends too on the people's taste, honestly. So it's kind of like iffy on that with number 8, and it really ties into number 9, 10, 11, and 12, 13, 14. But number 15, just really going down here, scrolling down, the gym. I think that's a really cool idea when it comes to like a first date, because like the gym is a really good place for people to just not only to connect, but also to really just stay healthy, especially with the physical body. And so like when it comes to like with the gym, especially with people who like to be active, like to stay healthy, who love to run, love to lift weights, love to play basketball, love to dance, who love to do yoga, all kind of stuff too. And it's just like the gym is a really good place for all the active people out there who love to just really, stay healthy. Especially if you want to just stay healthy, to live a long life too, especially with, women or even men who like to do that too. So the gym this is just my opinion, and you guys can just totally disagree. This is like a cool way to go on the first date, especially for people who love to be active, who love to work out, who love to run and all that kind of stuff too. Or even just like with the gym also, it could be like a yoga studio too. So kind of like, things that you really just be doing active, together too, getting to know someone, all those kind of things. This is really cool. And same goes with number 16 too, with church. I mean, people who love to, practice, their connection with God, source, and it can be more than just like with church too, for those who are religious. There's just nothing wrong with that. Shout out to all my peeps who are religious, if you're Christian or not, whether that floats their boat with their spiritual beliefs. But also, like, if people love to just say, with Buddhism too, or just like when it comes to with those kind of like spiritual practices or beliefs, also if they're into Buddhism, if they're into like Christianity also, I mean, going to those places can really just, can help you to learn more about someone too, especially on the first date. Also, just really get to know them if you guys have similar interests too, if you have to go to church. And that says a lot too, if someone takes someone to a very powerful place, it's a church or like a Buddhist monastery, or even just like an event that's really connected to that too. So I think 17 and 18 kind of like go together, because coffee dates and Starbucks are kind of like the same thing. I mean, to each their own, it kind of connects with the fast food here too when it comes to that. If people like to drink coffee, I know coffee is like high in caffeine and sugar, but if people like to do that, especially like if they like to read too, like in Barnes and Noble. I know I live in Southern California, and there's always, where there's a Barnes and Noble, Starbucks is right around there and in there too. So people like to have coffee, spend time with each other on the first date. If they're cool with that too, hey, whatever that floats their boat. If they're really into it also, basically. And just like even same thing with ice cream also, it kind of falls into like fast food. If like they love to go to Cold Stones, they like to go to other Baskin Robbins, or just like, Ben and Jerry's, or they like to go to, oh my gosh, there's another one, Thrifties. I know people remember, I know Thrifties are still out there, and like in Circle K's restaurants. I mean, I love ice cream. That's kind of like my kryptonite, this when it comes to that. And it's like, hey, if you want to have a sweet tooth, you want to just get a little something to eat, get to know each other, and just have a conversation, and just really getting to know someone from a healthy space of curiosity. And just when it comes to with their preference for ice cream, in a really healthy way, that's totally cool. And number 20, family functions. I mean, that can be kind of iffy too. Different cultures kind of really celebrate that, and I mean, shout out to all the cultures who do that too, from like in the East too. But like in the West, it's kind of like, that's kind of like pushing it a little bit, because if you're going to, if you're on a first date and you're trying to get to know someone, and family functions is kind of like pushing it in a way. It's like you're moving too soon. But in most cultures, that's kind of like, the norm. So that's kind of like iffy on my part too. That's just my personal thing. And movie night, like Netflix and Hulu and etc. And that's kind of like pushing it too, because like that's really personal. And that's like the term Netflix and chill kind of, is kind of created too. It's like the first date that's kind of could be just pushing it too. Like when it comes to just like, if someone wants to just have a movie night with you, like Netflix and Hulu and etc. And Netflix is like a streaming service. You have to watch it from home too. And it's kind of like, it kind of goes into like, going to someone's home for the first time as a first date, But, you never know. I could be wrong about this. And it's just like, to me, that's not just my preference. It's just like, that's kind of pushing it, on the first date. But if it's like in a serious relationship and you guys have been knowing each other for a while, for like a couple of years, I mean, movie nights, that's cool. If you guys want to Netflix and chill in your serious relationship, that's totally cool. That's your business. But on the first date, that's kind of pushing it a little bit. But that's just my preference saying that. But somewhere that number 22, somewhere that requires a long drive. It really depends. I mean, people who love to travel, I mean, if they like to say like to explore nature, they like to go camping, if you have to be more specific, when it comes to that, it's just like, people who like to go for a long drive to like stay like the beach or go to camping. I mean, that's their preference. But on the first date, I don't know. It's kind of like in the middle too. That's just me saying that too. So if you guys want to comment too, if that's kind of like pushing it, or if that's a cool idea for a first date, especially for people who love to travel. Feel free to do so, because I'm kind of like iffy about it too. But like number 23, bowling. I mean, that's a cool activity. People love to be active. They love to have fun too. I mean, bowling is a cool activity to just really have fun, to cut loose, to release some kind of like stress too. And especially when it comes to girlfriends also. Kind of goes connected to number 15 when it comes to the gym. People love to be active. So bowling is a cool activity for a first date. I mean, it's just really getting to know each other, having fun. And even like with bowling also, if you guys love to, for those who are gaming fanatics out there who love to just like go to the arcades, I mean, that's a cool way to go on the first date. Just really playing your favorite games from childhood, but also when you're an adult and you can really just really get to know someone and really having fun at the same time also, with prizes, do all kind of fun activities too when it comes to that. So I'll just making up my own shit too when it comes to with this list. And this is no shade against anyone who's actually made this list. I'm just really putting my own spin to it also. So when it comes to with bowling, that's a cool way to go on a first date. Just really get to know someone, have a good time, and releasing those endorphins too when it comes to connecting with someone. And number 24 with nightclubs, because when I was younger, I mean, I worked near a nightclub too, at a hotel/casino that I was working at. And just like nightclubs it's like a wild place to really connect with people, but also it can really just be really crazy and potentially dangerous too, because you never know what's going to happen. People get drunk, start fights, and it's just like, you see like those kind of like energies out there. It can really just make you feel heavy in a certain way. And on the first date, I mean, that could really just be kind of like, a little bit pushing it, but also it could be potentially dangerous too, just because it's like, you never know what's going to happen. Nightclubs are, I mean, the upside, if you look at nightclubs, you really connect with people, but at the same time, it's just like the environment when it comes to drinking alcohol, or just like when it comes to people being intoxicated, doing all kind of crazy stuff too. And you never know what happens in a club too, because there's a lot of crazy stories on there too. People doing something to people's drinks. That's not cool at all. I never condone that. And it's just like on a first date, that's really risky. I just say that too with nightclubs. And same goes to like with a hookah bar. I've never been to a hookah bar. I think I've probably heard that before, but I can go hand in hand with number 24. And the same goes with number 26 too. I mean, all these three can just be, wrapped up together, because, bars and clubs are kind of like, very similar in the ways. It's just like, bars is a place for people to just really go for a drink, but also too, if you really want to do it in a safe way, just like, chill out with, someone that you really know and you want to get to know them too. That's totally cool with friends. But on the first date, that could be really just kind of like pushing it too, because you never know what might happen, because bars and clubs, a lot of crazy shit can happen in bars and clubs, So, but like, the Waffle House, that kind of goes with restaurants too. I mean, people who love to cook, and especially if they're like want to be like a chef, if they're a foodie too, when it comes to like with waffles, Italian food, buffets too, with all that as well. So it's kind of like, hey, I mean, Waffle House is a cool place. I mean, I know in Southern California, there's Roscoe's, so shout out to Roscoe's out there. And the original in LA, but also there's one in Orange County too, that's close to Disneyland. So, Waffle House is a cool place to go on the first date. If you guys love food and you guys like to talk about food too, especially when it comes to like restaurants, like ice cream, or just like Italian food, all kind of stuff too. And the last one too with sport events. I mean, sport events is cool. I mean, it's kind of like, going to like a baseball game, a football game, or even just like with hockey. It could be even just like, sports entertainment. If you guys love wrestling, if you guys love martial arts, MMA, or just like, the Olympics too. That's like the most famous sports events ever, It's like when it comes to that, and someone takes someone out for like the Olympics, or like say like football, basketball, or even just like hockey. I think I'm trying to other sports too, football, soccer. I mean, they call it football in the other countries, so showing respect to that, but we call it soccer here in America, but it's also called football in other countries too. Just showing respect to all my people who are international out there who love football, in that way too, which is cool. Someone takes you on their first date to a sporting event. That's really cool. I mean, it could really just be long, depending on how long the game is, but it could be totally worth it. It's like when it comes to those who love sports, and especially they love sports too, from a healthy space. So, and to me, I think sports events is really cool for a first date. So just really going back to the list. This list is wild actually too. It's finally, I'm probably showing my age too when it comes to that. And this is no shade against anyone people who actually made this list. I mean, it's just like nowadays, it's just things are crazy out there. But if you guys want to share your own honest opinions and feelings about this list also too, you're more than welcome to do so from a healthy space. Even if as long as you guys are not just putting each other down, or just like when it comes to as men and women, when it comes to our own preferences, because we're all different and there's nothing wrong with that too. But if you guys want to share your honest opinions and your feelings about that too when it comes to with this list, you're more than welcome to do so too. And I'll also make sure to post a link to it also with the actual post of it too from Instagram. So if you guys ever want to check it out for yourselves, at any time. And shout out to Duval Promo for posting it also. And much love to all you guys who are watching this, and maybe continue to practice self-care that could not only benefit ourselves but our loved ones and our whole environment. You guys stay safe and healthy out there. So peace and much love. Namaste.